Hello everyone, welcome to Voxcel. Hope you are doing well. So in this video we're gonna discuss Test 3 Reading Passage 1 of Burlington Book 2 Academic. So we have already discussed Test 1 and Test 2. So if you haven't watched those videos, you should, but after watching this one. Without further ado, let's start. So we will read the title of the passage first, and that it is saying new findings on stress. So from the title it's quite clear that this paragraph should be about some sort of researches on stress and what new things we have discovered about stress, like what are the results of stress or what are the reasons for stress, something like that. So this should be upon new findings. So new findings just means new outcomes or new results or new information on stress. Now, what we will do, we will not start to read the paragraph just yet. We will go straight to the questions, see what kind of questions we are dealing with, what types of questions we are dealing with, and then we will start doing the test. Okay, so look at the question numbers. Do we have to solve questions 1 to 13? So let's see the question types. So for 1 to 4, we have list of headings. Okay, so we are given 8 headings, so and we have 4 paragraphs, so basically it means 4 options are given extra, so we have to pick the 4 correct options out of these 8. For 5 to 9, we have true false not given, so we will have to write whether the question information is true according to the passage or false or not given. When it will be true, when it agrees with the information, the statement, the question. When it will be false, when it will contradict, basically it will be opposite to the information. Not given, if there is no information on this, if we can't say whether the information agrees or disagrees with the text. And 10 to 13, we have to fill in the blanks and we cannot write more than 2 words. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, first, obviously, for all we have how many paragraphs? 4 paragraphs. So we have to write all those options of those 4 paragraphs. So what we're going to do is, first we're going to read all these headings and try to differentiate between them, mark some keywords or important words in each heading, and then we will read the A paragraph. Suppose, for example, what we're going to do is we will read the A paragraph, mark the appropriate option, and then we will read these questions as well simultaneously, so that if the any question is in A paragraph, we can solve it, so we do not have to revisit A paragraph again and again. I hope I'm clear. Okay, so what we're going to do is, first we're going to read the headings. First option, a new way of discovering your stress levels. So in whatever paragraph discusses about a new way, not the old way, but a new way by which we can discover our stress levels. So basically, they will talk about a new type of technique that has been developed that can detect your stress levels. Okay, something like that. Second, stress interferes with one of the brain's natural processes. So in whatever paragraph they have told us that stress, it interferes with brain's natural process. Sorry about that. It interferes with brain's natural process. That paragraph will be that will paragraph have second option as its answer. Third, stress levels among young people in education. So we have to talk about stress level in young people among, what kind of people who are in education. The positive and negative effects of stress. So whatever paragraph discusses both, not only positive or not only negative, both positive and negative effects of stress, that paragraph will have fourth as its answer. Fifth, the reasons stress damages appetite. So we have whatever paragraph consists the reasons that stress damages appetite, like people are not able to, people do not feel hungry because of it, or they do not like to eat food because of stress. So that paragraph will have fifth option as its answer. The difficulties of diagnosing stress. So whatever paragraph talks about the difficulties in diagnosing stress, like finding out about stress, that paragraph will have sixth option as its answer. Seventh, the importance of reducing stress in society. So we have to talk about the importance of reducing stress in society. Eighth, how computer use affects stress levels. So in whichever paragraph they are talking about computer use and how it affects stress levels. Like if you use more computer, you will be more stressed, or if you use more computer, you will be less stressed. If you use less computer, it will be vice versa. So in whichever paragraph they are talking, they are relating computer use with the stress levels, like maybe increase or decrease with the use of computer. So that paragraph will have eighth option as its answer. I hope options are clear. So but whenever you should do list of headings, you should always read all these headings, because if you are not clear what these headings means, you will not be able to find the correct paragraph or correct answer for any particular paragraph. So let's read the A paragraph now. In today's in today's highly pressured world, most people are familiar with the physical symptoms of stress. So we are saying that the world is highly pressured, so there is a lot of pressure today. So most people, they are familiar with physical symptoms of stress, like how you can tell someone is stressed by looking at their physique, or looking at their physical cues. Stress is a natural physical and mental reaction to life experiences, which very few people can avoid completely. So obviously, very few people, like it's almost negligible, you can say, can avoid stress completely, because it's a natural reaction to you are experiencing life. So when you experience life, whether it's a good experience or a bad experience, you will react accordingly, obviously. Anything from everyday responsibilities like work and family to serious life events such as illness, divorce, or the death of a loved one can trigger stress. So, these are the situations that can trigger stress. For immediate short term situations, stress can be beneficial for your health. So, they are saying if we are talking about short term situations, stress can be beneficial for your health. Okay, your body responds to stress by releasing hormones that increase your heart and breathing rates and ready your muscles to respond. So this is the benefit of short term situations. However, if stress levels stay elevated for longer period, it can be extremely bad for your health. But in the same breath, they are saying, but if you are feeling stress for a longer period of time, it will be extremely bad for your health. Chronic stress can cause a variety of symptoms, including anxiety, depression, headaches, and an inability to sleep. So these are the effects of chronic stress. Because of that, you will face symptoms like anxiety, depression, headaches, and you may not be able to sleep. So you will face an inability to sleep, basically insomnia type problem. Okay. I hope your paragraph is clear. So now, for every question, I forgot to tell you. So for every question, you will get around 10 seconds to give me the answer. So your 10 seconds for question number one, section A, starts now. Okay, time's up. So let's read the options together and see which option suits the best. A option, a new way of discovering your stress levels. Is there any mention of some new way that we can find out about our stress levels, with the help of which I we can find out about our stress levels? No, there is no mention of this. Second option, stress interferes with one of the brain's natural processes. Is there any mention of stress interfering with brain? No. Stress levels among young people in education. Is there anything about mentioned about young people in education? No. Fourth, the positive and negative effects of stress. Is there any mention of positive and negative effects of stress? Yes, there is. So our answer to this question is fourth option. So let me mark here first. So where it is written, for here, short benefit is for short term and long term negative. So this is about benefit. So let me write here. So instead of 1 2, I will write negative. So here they are talking about positive. So here they are talking about the positive of stress and they are talking about the negative of stress. I hope it is clear. Okay, now let's read the another other types of questions. 5 to 9, true false. Okay, it is only long term stress that causes health problems. So is there any mention of long term stress? Yes, here this is the particular information, long term, and this is about short term. So you have to like evaluate both to get the correct answer. So you will get around 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and your 10 seconds start now. Okay, time's up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write the answer, and the answer to this question is true. I hope you arrived at the correct answer. So let me do this. So why it is true? Because here it is also written question 5. I have to do this. So here it is written for short term it is positive obviously. So if it is positive, it doesn't mean, so it means it will not cause any problem, because if you are facing problem because of any particular thing, how can you say it is positive? So if you are facing health issues because of any particular any particular situation or any particular person, you cannot say that person or that situation is positive for you. So that is a negative. So what only in long term you are facing health issues. So what kind of health issues? Okay, what I will do is, okay, so these are the health issues bad for your health. So it's, so this is a bit of dilemma for me. So what I can do, okay, I will use yellow marking for here also. Long term stress causes health problems. So longer period bad for your health. Okay, but what I usually do is, for different sets I use different colors, but here in this particular sentence, that everything was in same sentence for both the questions, so I am using the same color for this one. Okay, so let's read the sixth question. The lateral habenula is less effective when a person is stressed. So there is no mention of this particular name. So until or unless we find this name, we do not need to understand in depth about this particular question. And let's read the 10th question. Graven Institute of Medical Research. So we haven't read anything about this particular institute. Stress causes the brain to receive continuous dash, causing people to overeat. So we haven't read anything about overeat. So for this I will use green color. So we haven't read anything about overeating. So what we will do is, okay, we will go to the B paragraph now. We will read the B paragraph. Okay. So B paragraph is divided into three separate paragraphs. So what we will do is, we will read the guys, give me 1 second. We will read the like first paragraph. B is first paragraph, then we will find the answer. Most of the time the answer to list of headings, if the paragraph is divided into like 3 or 4 or something like that, usually the answer is in the first paragraph or in the last paragraph. Rarely it is in the second paragraph. So it can be one of those instances where it is a rare answer. So what we will do is, we will read individual paragraphs. We will not read the entire paragraph, all the three mini paragraphs in an instant. So it will be a lot of information to process. So we will keep it simple for ourselves. We will read this paragraph, then try to find if any options or any option or list of headings suits us. Okay, if not, then we will go to the second or the third paragraph. I hope it is clear. And after reading the first paragraph, we will repeat the process. We will go to these questions and see if sixth question is here or the 10th question is here. I hope I am clear what I'm gonna do. So let's start doing it then. B. In addition to these symptoms, stress can cause a craving for comfort food. So now they're talking about what stress can do, and apart from these symptoms, like in addition to these symptoms, it can cause craving. So basically you can crave food, so you want to eat food, a lot of food basically, which is usually high in calories. And what kind of food? Those food that are high in calories, junk food type of thing. So if you are that kind of person, you can easily relate with this kind of information. So when you are stressed, you eat to cope with that particular thing. So it's a sort of coping mechanism for some people. Researchers at Graven Institute, so we have now reached that particular information, in Sydney have found that stress can cancel out the brain's natural response to feeling full, leading to non stop reward signals that lead us to eat more tasty but unhealthy food. So, what stress causes is stress can cancel out brain's natural response to feeling full. So whenever you are eating and if your tummy is full, what your brain does, it sends signal to your to you that you are full, so, and you don't need to eat more. But stress cancels out that particular response. So what happens is you eat lot of food that is tasty but unhealthy. This occurs in a part of the brain called lateral habinula. So where it happens in the part of the brain that is called lateral habinula. So if I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, which when activated usually lessens these reward signals. So if this particular part of brain is activated, it decreases this particular these kind of reward signals. Okay. Uh, Now you will have about 10 seconds. Tell me whether any option, do you think any option is the answer of this particular heading? B paragraph, B section, and your round 10 seconds start now. Okay, time's up. Let's read the options together. A first option, a new way of discovering your stress levels. Is there any mention of a new research or a new way that we can find out about our stress levels? No. Second, stress interferes with one of the brain's natural processes. Is there any mention of stress interfering with brain's natural process? Yes, there is. Where it is written here, stress can cancel out this particular thing. So that's why we end up eating lot of unhealthy but tasty food. So this is question 2. I hope it is clear. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the other options as well, because I have read those words here. Sixth question: the lateral habinula is less effective when a person is stressed. Is there any mention of lateral habinula? Yes. So this is obviously our location. Okay. Now let me change the color. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the color of that question as well, so that okay, only these keywords. Now, so you have around 10 seconds to tell me the answer of this particular question, and your 10 seconds start now. Okay, time's up. I'm gonna write the answer here, and the sorry about that. I'm not sure what's happening to my throat. And the answer to this question is true. So if you are able to arrive the correct answer, congratulations. If you are not, don't worry, I'm going to tell you, explain you why it is true. So the question is saying this particular lateral habinula is less effective when the person is stressed. So when a person is stressed, this particular part of brain doesn't work as properly as it should. So yes, it is saying the same thing. It occurs when the brain part of the brain which is activated usually lessen the reward signals. So when if it is activated, it will reduce these reward signals that are caused by stress. But because of stress, these reward signals are amplified. That just means lateral habinula is less effective when person is stressed. Is it making sense? If not, I'm going to explain it a bit more further so that you can make sense of it. So for example, let's just say if you're saying one thing is more effective, let's just say there are three persons A, B and C. There are three things A, B and C. Now we are saying C is more effective when A is strong, okay, but C is less effective when B is strong. Are you getting my point? C is more effective when A is strong, but C is less effective when B is strong. So here A is your normal brain functioning, B is your stress. So again, C is your lateral habinula. So they are saying lateral habinula is less effective when person is stressed. So C is less effective when B is strong. So the question is saying C is more effective when A is strong. So when A is weak, when A is strong, C is weak. When A is weak, C is strong. So similar thing is happening here. I hope it is clear. Moving on to the next set of questions. I don't think so. Seventh will be there because this is the last sentence. After a period of comfort eating, the body craves healthy food. So there is no mention of that. So let's read this particular question. Let me change the color first. So is there any mention of overeating in this particular paragraph? Yes. So this is basically craving of comfort food. And this is mention of Graven Medical Institute here. Now, so we will read the question. Stress causes the brain to receive continuous something causing people to overeat. So we have to find what stress causes the brain to receive continuously. So brain is receiving something continuously and we have to find what is receiving continuously. And because of this continuous receivement of this particular thing, people tend to overeat. So in addition to these symptoms, stress can cause craving for comfort food, which usually high in calories. Researchers at this in Sydney found that the stress can cancel out brain's natural response to feeling full, leading to non-stop reward signals that lead us to eat more tasty and but unhealthy food. Okay, so this is our location. So you will have around 10 seconds to tell me the answer to this particular question, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write the answer here and see if you are able to find out the correct answer or not. Answer is reward signals. So let me mark the answer here first. Okay. So where it is, why it is the reward signals, where it is written continuous reward signals, where it is written continuous here, how it is paraphrased? Yes, for continuous, they have written non-stop. So non-stop basically means continuous, one and the same thing. Overeat, eat more, lead us to eat more. Tasty but unhealthy food. So we are overeating. Okay. I hope it is clear. Okay, 11th question. We're gonna read this also. Let's see if it is here or not. Graven Institute. The findings of this study recommend a dash for people with chronic stress. So, what does A refer to? A refer to article. That means it always come before noun. So here some should be some sort of noun. So the finding of this study, so the result of this study recommend a dash for people with chronic stress, recommend a solution for people for chronic stress, some sort of solution, or a word solution, or some sort of solution will be the answer to this question, or should be the answer to this question. So but we don't have any solution in this paragraph yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the second b paragraph, section text of b paragraph section. What normally happens is that when we have eaten enough, the pleasure gained from eating diminishes. When stress cancels out the brain signals telling us we are full, the brain is continuously rewarded for eating. So what they're saying is, what happens usually is, when we have eaten enough, we uh, the pleasure we get from eating, it diminishes, so we do not like the taste of the food. So it we are feeling some sort of like uncomfort while eating too much food, so that our tummy starts to hurt, something like that. Whatever pleasure we were getting from eating that particular food, it diminishes. So but what happens is, but when stress cancel out these kind of signals that we are full, so the signal which give us some uncomfortable feeling because we were full, so when these signals are cancelled out, so you are eating continuously because the food tastes the same. The Graven team demonstrated that chronic stress can lead to increased food intake as well as a preference for sweet, high calorie food, causing weight gain and even obesity. So that's why when you are stressed, when you eat a lot of food, it can cause weight gain and even obesity. This research highlights how crucial a healthy diet is during times of stress. So now this research is highlighting, showing us that how crucial, how important a healthy diet is during the time of stress. So during stress, how important a healthy diet can be. Okay, now I'm going to give you around 5 to 10 seconds to tell me, around 5 seconds, to tell me whether you will keep second as the answer, or you think there is any other answer for this particular paragraph. And your time starts now. So time's up. So do you want to change the answer or not? No, let's. That's right. If you don't want to change, because if we talk about the first option, a new way of discovering your stress level, there is no mention of discovering of a new way, development of a new way. There is no mention of young people education. There is no mention of stress damages appetite. So here they are saying it increases appetite, not damages. So this can be our answer. Diagnosing stress difficulties, no talk about that. Importance of reducing stress in society, there is no mention of reducing stress in society, and there is no mention of computer use, so our option 2 will stand. Okay, now let's read true false and see if other options questions can be here or not. After a period of comfort eating, the body craves healthy food. Okay, is there any mention of after a period of comfort eating we crave healthy food or something like that? So you have around 10 seconds. Tell me whether the answer to this particular question is in this paragraph or not. And your time starts now. Okay, time's up. So there is some mention of when what happens when we normally eat enough food, but there is till now we don't have any mention of comfort eating or body craves healthy food. So that's not the location here. Let me read the eighth option. Okay, let me read the next question. The finding of the study recommends a dash for people with chronic stress. Is there any mention of chronic stress here, or what study suggests for people with chronic stress? No, there is no mention of chronic stress here. So there is mention of what we should do during times of stress, but there is no mention of chronic stress. So chronic stress simply mean chronic simply means long lasting, like that occurs again and again or for a long time, so it is not going away. So there is no mention of, like, if you are feeling stressed for a long time, so Yeah, during stress we should do this, but what about chronic stress? We don't know about that. So our answer should not is not in this particular paragraph. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna read the third paragraph of this section B. Let's read it together, and then we will see whether second option still stand or not. In stressful situations, it is useful to be hyperactive, and feeling of reward has a calming effect. So during stressful situations, it is usual to be hyperactive. So you are hyperactive, it's quite normal, and feeling of reward has a calming effect. So when you eat, it gives you peace, it gives you calm. On such occasions, a boost of energy through food is useful. However, when stress is experienced over a long period of time, it tends to lead to excess calorie intake, which is bad for the body. These findings clearly identify stress as a cause of eating habits that can override the brain's natural ability to balance energy. So the stress is causing brain. Let me change the color first. The stress is clearly interfering with brain's natural overriding the brain's natural ability to balance energy. The researchers emphasize. Okay, let me switch on the battery. Just give me 1 second. Okay, thank you for waiting. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, the researchers emphasize the importance of avoiding a stressful lifestyle, and if you are dealing with a long term stress, the absolute necessity of eating a healthy diet. Okay, so they are saying that the research, what they are emphasizing, so what they find out that if you're dealing with a long term stress, you should eat a healthy diet because it's an absolute necessity. There is no going around that. You cannot, it's non negotiable. Let's put it this way. Okay, so now you will have around 5 seconds. Tell me whether you want to change your answer of section B, question number 2, from any other answer to apart from 2 or not. And your time starts now. Okay, time's up. And we will not change our answer because here it is also saying that stress is overriding brain's natural ability. So it is interfering. So here it is interfering with brain's natural process. So our option number 2 is confirmed for this particular section. Moving on to the this. After a period of comfort eating, the body craves healthy food. Is there any mention of this? No, there is no mention of this. So let me read the eighth question as well. Unconscious stress does less harm than stress. No, this is not even mentioned here. So maybe it's in the next paragraphs. So let's read this. The finding of this study recommended dash for people with chronic stress. Is there any mention of chronic stress? Yes, here. Long term stress. Let me change the color first. Long term stress, chronic stress. So now you have, so this is the location. So let me do this. This is your location sentence. You will get around 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and your 10 seconds start now. Okay, time's up. I'm gonna write the answer here, and the answer is a healthy diet. Oh, sorry about that. Healthy diet. Let me recheck. Yeah, no more than 2 words. Healthy diet. Oh, A is written here already. So our answer will be healthy diet. Let me mark it here. So why it is healthy diet, where it is written? So I have already told you about chronic stress. So chronic stress means long term stress. So recommend here they're saying absolute necessity of eating. So here it is written recommend, and here it is written A, and here it is written A. So if you are dealing with so people with chronic stress, I hope it is clear. Okay, let's read the 12th question now and see the easy ETH Zurich. So wherever we will find about this particular information, we will find our answer of 12th. Okay, now we will read C section. Okay, it has also three paragraphs in it. So we will follow the same strategy. We will read the first paragraph, try to find the information of list of heading, then second and then third, and then we will see whether we will remain in the same option or not. And after reading the first paragraph, we will look at these questions like we did in the B paragraph, B section. Clear? Let's read the C section. First paragraph. It may seem strange, but some people who are suffering from stress are not aware that this is what is happening to them. So it may seem strange to you because mm, people who are suffering from stress, they are not aware that this is what is happening to them. So they are not aware that they are overeating because of stress. The physical and mental damage stress causes will be affecting them without their knowledge, which means they do not take steps to manage their stress. So obviously the physical and mental damage the stress causes, let me do space. So the physical and mental damage that stress causes will be affecting them without their knowledge. So that just means they are not taking any steps to manage their stress because they are unaware about it. Most stress is work related. In the UK, for example, 79% of working people say they frequently feel stressed, and it helps them to mitigate stress more effectively than those who do not recognize it. So they're saying that in the UK, 79% of working people, they say, okay, they feel stress, and because they know about it, so it helps them to recognize, it helps them to mitigate these problems than those who do not recognize it. Researchers at ETH Zurich are taking a novel approach to diagnosing stress in the workplace. They have used machine learning to develop a model that can tell how stressed an employee is from the way they type and use their mouse. So ETH they are developing a way in which they can tell how stressed a person is by the way this person is typing or using their mouse. Okay, so now you will have around 10 seconds to tell me the answer to section C according to this, if you are able to find any option, and if not, it's okay. We have two more paragraphs for this, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's read the options together. First, a new way of discovering your stress levels. Is there any mention of a new way of stress discovering your stress levels? Yes. So, in fact, first option is our answer of C. Where it is written? Yes. Let me first mark it. A novel approach. So, what is novel means? Novel means new. So, this is a new approach. What happened here? So this is a new approach, obviously. So, and what is a new approach? Now they can tell how stressed the employee is by the way they type and use their mouse. So this is a new approach. Novel means new. So if you feel novelty in something because of the newness of the thing, you are attracted to it. Clear? I hope it is clear. Okay, let's read the other questions as well if there is any answer. After a period of comfort eating, there is no mention of this. Unconscious stress does less harm than the stress we acknowledge. Is there any mention of acknowledging and not acknowledging the stress? Yes, there is. Where it is written? Here in this particular sentence. So first, let me tell you so if we are not able to find this, obviously the answer to this will be not given, because we haven't been given anything about what happens after a period of comfort eating. We found out the option 8th. So these questions are always almost in sequence. So if you are able to find question number 6 and 8th location but you are not able to find the 7th, so that means it's not given. Okay, But if for any particular reason, if we find it after, like in the next paragraphs, we will mark it accordingly. Now, when the answer to this question will be true, when yes, when people who, when the question is saying unconscious stress does less harm than the stress we acknowledge. So when you are unconscious about your stress, it is not that harmful then the stress that you acknowledge. If that is the case, then the answer will be true. But if you know about your stress levels and you try to solve it, so that it doesn't harm you much, uh, then those who are not trying to solve it, then the answer will be false. And when we don't know what happens to the knowledge or unacknowledged stress, the answer will be not given. So here they're saying in the UK, for example, 79% people say they frequently feel stress and it helps them to mitigate stress more effectively than those who do not recognize it. So this is our location. So you have around 10 seconds to tell me the answer to this particular question, and your time starts now. So time's up. I'm going to write the answer here, and the answer to this is false. Why it is false? Let me explain. Because they are saying unconscious stress does less harm than stress we acknowledge. So if you are acknowledging your stress, it will harm you more than the stress that you don't know about, that you don't acknowledge, basically don't know about. Unconscious, you are not aware about that stress. But here it is saying it helps them to mitigate stress more effectively than those who do not recognize it. So mitigate, to solve, to reduce, basically to demolish, to diminish, something like that, to solve the stress problem more effectively than those people who do not recognize. So than those who are unconscious, unaware about their stress. Hope it is clear. Okay, let's read this. The app developed in Zurich is for workers who use computers. So what about this? Is there any mention of app developed by Zurich or something like that? Yes, here it is written ETH Zurich. So they are taking this particular approach. Now, you have when the answer will be true to this particular question. Yes, when that particular development is for those people who are using computers. When it will be false, when this app is not for people who use computers, it is for someone else, like some other professionals, like maybe welders, maybe engineers, doctors, something like that. Okay, when it will be not given, when we don't know for what type of professionals this app is developed. Okay, so this is your location. Now you have some time to tell me the answer. Let me do this so that it doesn't interfere with others. Now you have around 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up. So what's the answer to this is? Drum roll please. Let me write the answer here. True. So the keywords were workers who use computer. So here it is written about ETH Zurich. Okay, so where it is written for the, this is like a machine learning to develop a model. So basically machine learning is an sort of an app. So from the way they type and use their mouse. So this is for question 9 as well. I hope it sorry, I hope it is clear. Now moving on to the next set of questions and see if 12th is here or not. The technology employed in this research is called, so it is ETH Zurich here. Let me change the color now. So ETH Zurich, ETH Zurich. So now what the blank is asking us, we have to tell the name of the technology. So the technology, whatever technology they used, employed, basically used in this research, this technology is called what? So we have to tell the name of the technology. Is there anything about this? Yes, there is. So you will have, this is the location. uh, Again, the location is same. Now you will have around 10 seconds, tell me the answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. And the answer to this question is, let me first mark the answer, machine learning. So, what is the research with the technology called? Machine learning. So, they used this to develop a model so they can find out how the stress employees are. So, they developed a model called, or the technology called, machine learning. I hope it is clear. Guys, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So, we have a way. Okay, so that this is the machine, this is the name of the technology, machine learning. I hope it is clear. So now let's see the 13th question. The established way of measuring stress levels through dash is less effective than monitoring stress levels by looking at the way workers use computers. Okay, so if I talk about this particular question, so now what kind of information do you think should be here? Yes, here should be some sort of method. Like, if we are, one method is looking at the way workers use computers. This is the one method, and if we are now talking, we should write here the answer should be another method which should be less effective, or which is less effective. So through, like, measuring their pulse, through their something like that. Okay, how we measure stress levels is by this way is less effective than measuring stress level by this way. So but we haven't read any comparison still here, so whenever we will read that particular type of comparison, we will find our answer. Okay, so true false we have done. So C section, let's read the remaining two paragraphs of this. They have found that the way someone types on their keyboard and moves their mouse seems to be a better way of assessing stress levels than heart rate. Okay, now we have found the location. So what we will do is we will solve this one. So this is our location of this answer. So now you will have around 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and I don't think so you will need 10 seconds complete. So your time starts now. Okay, time's up. I'm gonna write the answer, and the answer is heart rate. What happened to this particular thing? I hope everybody was able to find the answer. It was quite straightforward. If not, don't worry, I will tell you what where are the keywords and how we arrived at this answer. So here they're saying, so we have to measure stress levels through meaning to say this is sort of a method. It is less effective than looking at the way people use computers. So here they're saying that they have found that way someone type on the move their mouse better way than assessing stress levels than heart rate. So this is another method. This is the one method. Someone types on their computer and their mouse. Okay, use their mouse, move their mouse, and use their computers. So it is better way than assessing stress levels than what than monitoring heart rate. I hope it is clear. So we have done blanks also. We have done true false also. Only list of headings are remaining. So let's see if we need to change our answer for this or not. These findings could potentially be used to predict and prevent stress in the workplace early on. The study shows that people who are stressed move the cursor more often and less precisely and cover longer distances on the screen. Relaxed people, on the other hand, take shorter, more direct routes to reach their destination and take more time doing so. Moreover, people who feel stressed in the office make more mistakes when typing. They write, sorry about that. They write quickly with many brief pauses. Relaxed people take fewer but longer pauses when typing on a keyboard. So basically, in this paragraph, they have compared people typing to the habit of or moving mouse of people who are stressed and who are relaxed. So now, do you think you need to change the answer of section C from first to any other level or any other option? And your time, you will get around 5 seconds for this, and time starts now. Okay, time's up. So let's read the other options. Young people education, there is no mention of that. Damages appetite, no mention. There is no mention of difficulties in diagnosing stress. Nothing about stress in society reducing. Okay, and how computer use affects stress level. There is no mention of how it is affecting stress levels. So be very careful about this. Oh, sorry about that. There is no mention of how computer. They are just telling the way people use computer. It tells about the stress level, but why computer is increasing or decreasing stress level or how computer is responsible for it, we are not given this particular kind of information. So one will stand for this. Let's read third paragraph. The researchers are aware of potential problems with the app they are developing to monitor stress levels. Although their aim is to help employees check their stress levels and take appropriate action, the technology could potentially be used by companies to spy on their staff. Users would need to be completely confident that their data were predicted. If this private data were to get into the wrong hands, it could actually contribute further to stress levels, which the developers agree would be unacceptable. So they're saying that this is the problem with that, because if the data gets leaked, like this particular employee is stressed or this particular employee is relaxed, something like that, whatever their personal information is, it will increase in the stress levels. Okay, now would you want to change the C first option or not? You will have around 5 seconds for this, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Would you want to? Do you want to change it? No, because there is no other mention. There is no mention of young people in education. No mention of reasons of damage to appetite. There is no mention of diagnosis difficulty. No mention about society, and no mention about how computer is affecting this. So yes, this is mention of a new way of discovering your stress levels. Hope it is clear. Moving on to the D, and so D has only one paragraph. So let's read it together. Many experts believe that chronic stress is not given the attention. Sorry about that. Many experts believe that chronic stress is not given the attention it deserves. So many people believe that chronic attention, we are not giving it the attention it truly deserves. There are calls for it to be prioritized in education and workplaces. So we have to prioritize it in education and workplaces. So we, because we are not giving it the attention it deserves, because it is becoming a big problem maybe. Both students and employees should be taught to monitor and deal with stress, and the society as a whole should continually look for ways to make life less stressful. So they're saying that both students and employees, they should be taught to monitor and deal with stress. And if I talk about society as a whole, it should continually look for ways to make life less stressful. For example, teachers union and head teachers should consider whether the large number of examinations students take are all necessary. So it should be on teachers unions and head teachers. They should decide whether the large number of examinations are necessary or not, or whether they are just doing it for the sake of doing it. Employers should be aware that increasing stress on their staff is likely to result in higher staff turnover and more days lost due to sickness. And employers, they should like acknowledge this particular thing, that if they put more stress on their staff, so it will likely result in higher staff turnover. Let me mark this. And more days lost due to sickness. Stress is the curse of the modern world, but at least some of it is avoidable. Creating a less stressful life is not only possible but essential for a healthy, happy population. So they're saying that if you create this, it is not only possible but it is essential for our healthy and happy population. Okay, now you will have 10 seconds. Tell me the answer to D paragraph, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's read the options together and see which is the correct option. Okay, third. How many of you have marked third as the answer? Okay, but is it the answer or not? I'm sorry, it is not the answer. Why? Because they're saying, let me change the color to this. Here they're saying stress levels among young people in education. So yeah, there is talk about education, but there is no mention about young people. So they are just talking about educations. So they are not saying education in primary school or education in secondary school. They're just talking about education. Not There is no mention of young people anywhere. Clear? So that's why, yeah, to school, paper, exams, it is mentioned, but it is not about only young people. It can be college, universities, in PhDs, whatever education. So it is not mentioned that it is only for young people. Okay, and what kind of stress levels are they facing? So it is not even mentioning that. Fifth, the reasons it stress damage. No, this is not the answer. The difficulties of diagnosing stress in society. Can it be the answer? So there is no mention of difficult. Okay, sorry about that. There is no mention of difficulties in of diagnosing stress as well. So we have only two options left, either 7 or 8. So 7, the importance of reducing stress in society, or how computer use affects. So there is obviously no mention of how computer use affect. So the answer to this question is option number. Sorry about that. What is happening to the mouse? So the answer to this question is option number 7. So where it is here. Even in the last very sentence, they have told why it is important. Because healthy, happy population. So importance of reducing stress in society. What is the importance? It will create a healthy and happy population. So less stressful society, reducing stress. So reducing stress, less stressful life. I hope it is clear. So we have marked these four questions. We have marked 5 to 9 and 10 to 13. So yeah, we have read all this paragraph, and I hope you are able to understand how to solve such paragraphs, such questions. If you're dealing with such type of questions, if these kind of stress questions come to you in exam or in your any reading, how to deal with them, how to strategize them, how to prioritize your reading effectively. So just I'm before winding up, I just want to give you some information. If you want our help in writing and or speaking, if you're struggling to get a band 7 in either or both writing and or speaking, we have prepared one of the most, if not the most extensive course on IELTS. It covers every aspect of writing task 1, task 2, be it academic or GT. Similarly, for speaking, we cover all part 3, part 1, part 2, part 3, like your introduction questions, your cue cards, your follow-ups, long questions. So we have discussed the theories, the tried and tested methods. We will discuss with you. We will tell you how to attempt the different kind of task 2 questions, how to attempt part 1 in speaking, how to attempt cue card in speaking, how to attempt follow-ups, how to extend your answers, what are the techniques you should use. So we have made a framework, step to step guide for you for each speaking and writing. Similarly, for reading and listening as well, we have made videos on different type of questions, how to solve list of headings, how to solve paragraph contains information, true, false, yes, no. Similarly, for listening, how to solve different kind of questions, MCQs, all those kind of things. So if you want our help, you can enroll in our course. So I will leave the link to my website in the bio or in the description. You can contact us there. and we will be happy to help you. And if you want our writing correction service, or if you want one-to-one speaking slot, if you want to book that, you can do that also. That link will be in my bio or description. You can go to our website and avail our services. And we have helped thousands of students achieve their band 7 or more. And if you want to become our next success story, we will be more than happy to help you. Okay, so with this note, this is the end of this particular video. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.